Taney Bridge Malone back with another YouTube video. So I thought I was off today. I posted a video earlier. I mean, I've been really overwhelmed with the amount of customers that we've had the last 2 days. Kroger's expanded. Kroger's added new stuff in their store, and it's just, I would have never thought until I came to work here that this place would be bombarded. I would have never thought that they would do their employees the way they do. And many of these people know in my area that between the bakery, the deli, and they hire many people with mental illness and know they have mental illness when they hire them. And they overwhelm them with not giving them enough people. Now, we know the people with mental illness, they don't need a bunch of stress. They don't need that. And like I said, it's been overwhelming in here. And on my second break, I was out here in tears yesterday. I had to take a break at 6:30. I said, dude, I got to have a break. Somebody's going to have to break me out. I said, I got to go take a smoke break. But anyway, yeah, it's overwhelming. And I told the customers, because a lot of customers will come in there, some of them will come in there and say, you should be getting paid for the work of 3 people. I said, yeah. I said, they schedule me to close. Every day I'm to close, I close by myself. I said, they might every once in a while have somebody in here with me till 6 or 7 o'clock, but past that, I'm by myself. And I have to clean all that stuff up and be out of there by 11 o'clock. But I'm usually out of there before 11 o'clock. But my thing is, if I waited till I closed to start cleaning anything, then I'd be in there till 12 o'clock or after. It's overwhelming in here. And I told the upper management, I told that lady that's the manager on second shift, I said, dude, man, they're going to have to get some extra help back here. I said, this place is really stressful. And they don't want to bring an extra person in. Like, she acts like they're going to, but I don't believe that, I mean, she acts like she showed sympathy and stuff, but it's just like I say, you can't support people with mental health when you're leaving them in there by themselves to run and stress them out over. You're overloading them with extra stuff to do that they can't get it all, You're pushing them to the core, and that's not good for anybody, even for a person who don't battle mental illness. That's just too much for one person to do when you got that many new people. I mean, you get new meats and new cheeses in a department, and I don't know how many people's walked out of here since I started working here. And people come, I mean, they shorthand people in every department. It's not just mine either. This is going on in all departments. And I want to get on here and tell y'all, if you're working at a place, stop giving your best foot forward. Do your best, but don't get in no hurry like I do. You know what I mean? Because when you do that, what you need to do is take your time. If you're working in a place where you're waiting on customers, take your time purposely. Take your time and don't rush yourself to do stuff. Just do what you can do. Don't overload yourself with all that. Don't even think about what the customers are if you can at all. That's easier said than done, I know. But that's what I got to tell myself. I got to pump myself up not to go in here overstressing myself. You get a lot of customers, you just tell them, I'm only one person. I'm doing what I can do. If you don't want to wait, then there's other places you can go to shop. I mean, I don't care what I tell them, because here's the thing. They ain't never went and complained on me yet, but that don't mean they won't. But my thing is, when you put me back here by myself, they can't say much to me, because I come in every day on time. I'm here early most days. I haven't called in one time since I've been here, except the first day I started after orientation. They sent me home because I was sick. But I came in and showed up at 7 o'clock the next morning. So what I'm saying is, if you're a good worker, many companies will overwork you. And it ain't just me they're doing this to. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to continue killing myself. And I'm not going to continue running around checking my head cut off. It just ain't happening no more. I'm going to do my job and go home. I ain't going to worry about it. If these people don't understand that, I don't care if they do go to management. I don't care what they say. Because one thing about it, we don't even get a lunch break here. Because unless you want to stay over a half hour to make up for it, but we don't have enough people to get a lunch break anyway. That's against social law. If you work 8 hours, you should get a lunch break. But I don't worry about it, I only get 2 15-minute breaks and then I go home. But my thing is, that ain't enough for me. Because when you're dealing with the public, it's a lot different. People get mouthy, people get rude. But most of the people I have, they are pretty nice. But I don't know, man. I really just want to get out of here, man. I'll be so glad when this day's over with, because I'm ready for a day off. I really am. And the fact that most weeks I don't get 2 days off in a row, I have to work 2 or 3 days and I'm off a day, and I work 3 or 4 days and I'm off a day. I'm off Monday and Wednesday this week. I thought I was off today, and it really, when I went back and looked at the schedule, good thing I did, because if I didn't, I probably wouldn't even have called in because I thought I was off. But I was so bombarded yesterday and had so many things going through my mind that I wasn't even focusing on my schedule. I took a picture of it, but I thought I was off, but I wasn't off. Good thing I looked at my schedule or I wouldn't even be here today. And with this type of place, you never know what days you're working or what days you're off till after a week. They don't put the schedule out till Fridays, which I think really sucks, because then we don't even, if we had a schedule 2 or 3 weeks out, at least we would know. If we're trying to make doctor's appointments, it's easier to make doctor's appointments when you know what days you're off. But when you only know a week ahead of time what days you're off, it's kind of hard to schedule a doctor's appointment. I don't know, y'all. I don't know how long I'll last here. I'm trying to keep my job because I know I can't afford just to leave a job. I need money. But this is what people fall under that deal with mental illness, especially when they have no family members to live with, and it's hard to keep jobs. Sometimes it's hard to keep jobs. Sometimes it's hard to deal with the public. So it definitely is. I haven't had too many jobs where I've had to deal with the public. Most jobs I've had have been in factories where I just had to deal with my coworkers, but that was bad enough. When you come in here and you have to deal with higher management up your ass all the time, and you got customers up your ass, and you got people asking it's just, you're thrown into 3 or 4 different directions, and it's like, what should I do first? I know if customers are there, I got to make sure I wait on them, and then I got online orders. I got people who, there's people that come back there who works in the online orders, the ones that are like, I don't want to call it the grab and go, but there's people that call their online orders in. So when they come in, there's people that'll come back here in the deli who's doing that, who's going through the store picking up people's orders, the online orders, and they'll come back here and ask for 4, 5, 6 different things. So I have to get that, and then I have to wait on the customers inside the place. Plus, I got to make sure everything's clean before I leave, and I'm by myself, And when you have so many people that come in there for orders and stuff, and then you have to sit and try to wait on these people it's overwhelming. It really is. And then my mom, every week, she's asking me, well, what days you off, what time you go. I'm tired of people asking me stupid-ass questions like, why do you need to know what days I'm off and what time I go in? I'm 43 years old almost. In September, I'll be 43 years old. I don't need to have to explain myself to everybody, and I don't care much about talking about my job, but I do, and really I don't need to, but I do. I need to vent. She's like, well, make sure you tell them to put an extra yeah. If the customers go complain, they might actually put 2 people back here, but they ain't hired the person that left. And that's been 3 weeks ago, and they still ain't hired nobody. Who knows? I don't know if maybe corporate won't allow them to hire somebody, or if management just don't want to. I don't know. It just seems funny to me because there's all kinds of people I know that put applications in this place and they wouldn't hire them because of their background. Who gives a shit if they did something? Give them a chance. If you need workers, there's people looking for work if you want to hire somebody. But I don't think too many people's going to last here because they're going to get tired of being overworked. You can't sit there and tell me, I don't care what manager come to me and said, oh, I know these people have mental illness. Yeah, they got mental illness, but yet you don't schedule enough people. You leave them by themselves and overload them with work, and you think that don't cause stress. Yeah, it does. That's the reason why it's hard for people with mental illness to hold a job down sometimes, because some people can deal with it, but some people can't. You know what I mean? Some people can't. And it ain't good to try to stress somebody out or overwork them or overload them with stuff when you know damn good and well they got a mental illness and you're trying to cause more issues and more stress on this person. If you know you have enough, if you're that busy, you need to make sure you schedule an extra person. Because if somebody was to call in here, then there wouldn't be nobody to run the deli. If I hadn't came in today, there wouldn't be nobody to run the deli. Whoever was in the hot section fixing chicken, mashed potatoes, and cleaning all that shit would have had to ran both areas. They would have tried to call somebody in. But whoever they called in would have been somebody that it would have been their day off and they would have called them in. Some people will come in and they want the extra hours, but a lot of times they're overworking these people. That's kind of sad. So that's the reason why I didn't call in today. I wanted to call in today because I wanted a day off to de-stress. I'm off tomorrow, so if I can get through tonight so I can be off a day. I don't know. Dealing with the public ain't easy to do, especially when you got people back to back, and I don't get no relief. I'm the only one cutting the meats and cheeses and cleaning up everything. I only get 2 15-minute breaks. I don't even get a lunch break. I'm telling y'all, this ain't the place to work. Do not apply at Kroger's. Get a job somewhere else. My gosh, they will overstress you and overwhelm you, and it's crazy. This location is always busy because there's only one Kroger's in an hour and a half range. It wasn't so bad until they got all these new meats and cheeses in. Hell, I couldn't keep up with all the numbers. I was just getting used to the numbers on the old stuff. Now they got new shit in here. So much shit that they didn't even buy a bigger case to put it all in, and half of it's taking up the refrigerator area, and it's so full you can't even walk through it to get what you need. Lord forbid if somebody asks for something that's not in the case, you have to go back in the refrigerator. It's cold back there. You have to keep going in and out of there, so that takes longer to wait on the customer, but they don't think about that. They knew all this shit before their grand opening was coming up. They knew it. And they didn't make sure there was 2 people in there to close and make sure they built shelves on the inside of the refrigerator so they could stock all this shit. You got stuff in boxes sitting on carts and stands, and they ain't put none of it away. If a customer asks me for something and I don't have it and I don't see it, I'm not searching through all them carts and shit to find it. I just tell them we don't have it. Go somewhere else. Go to fucking Walmart and get your damn shit. Y'all keep bringing all your business here. Look at how they treat their employees. I'm not saying every Kroger's is this way, but according to one guy that I work with that transferred from Cincinnati, Ohio, he worked at the Kroger's on Vine Street in Cincinnati, Ohio, and he seen so many people, he said he transferred down here and moved down here. But he said this store ain't no better than the one he came from. And he's been working for Kroger's for 17 years. He said they don't even come around and tell you, good job done. Well, hell, they throw all this damn work on you to do. And they wonder why they don't keep nobody. People walk out because they're tired of being overworked. You get burnt out when you do that. You can only do that shit for so long and you're ready to fucking move on. And we know every job's pretty much the same, but this place is worse than most places I've ever worked. I mean, they're good on some things, but other things not so well. There ain't no point in me sitting stressing out over because there's nothing I can do about it, but it's not so easy for me to deal with all this excess stress. Then I get mad and I don't get enough breaks, so I'm freaking, you take 2 breaks, one at 5 and one at 7 or whatever time you can get one. They don't want you going to break when you still got 4 or 5 people to wait on. I mean, what do they expect you to do when you're the only one in the department? So whoever's on the hot side has to come over and fill in for me over there in the deli because they've been trained on both sides. But shit's crazy. Y'all think it ain't stressful? People might want to judge me, but the thing of it is, you ain't the one doing the damn job. And I'm not saying anybody's coming against me. I'm just saying, many of people told me this place was a good place to work, but they had never worked here before. So how can you say a place is a good place to work if you ain't never worked there? And we know that all people have their favorites. I don't care who they are. But I'm just saying that's just the way it is. You'll see many of people stand back and play on their phones and sit and watch you do everything. There's been a few nights that they had somebody over scheduled to help me, but he just stood around for 2 hours playing on his phone, staying in the bathroom. I know he's got autism, so I try to overlook it, but my thing is, it's kind of aggravating when he's standing around and I'm doing all the damn work. They don't give a fuck that I got a mental illness. Well, that's why they're throwing all this shit off on me to do. They don't. If they respected me and knew, and a damn good and well know I do, then they aren't have enough people back there to help me when I'm overwhelmed with people. They just don't want to hire nobody else because they know it's going to cost them more money. Why not if they know they can throw 3 or 4 people's jobs off onto one person and only pay them $14.50 an hour? How many people are they saving money on? Let's say 1 or 2. So $14.50 times 2, that's almost $30 an hour between 2 people. So if they don't have to hire nobody because they're throwing all the work off on you to do, then you're doing the work of 3 people, but you ain't getting the pay of 3 people. Know what I mean? And in these jobs, I know I've worked in many different places over the years. I'm 42 years old, fixing to turn 43 in September. I know I've lived more than half my life to know what the hell goes on inside of these workplaces and how they do people. So I tell my truth, and I'm transparent on my channel. I tell you exactly the truth. I don't lie about shit. And I'm the type of person that when I hit the floor, I fucking stay busy from the time I hit the floor to the time I go home. Most people would be here till 11 o'clock, but I get my shit done by 10:30. I'm out the door. I get my shit done. But I don't want to stay here till 11 o'clock, and they give me the option of leaving early if I want to, because they don't have to pay you for that extra half hour. Minus me, that's 3 or 4 hours off your paycheck. If you leave early a half hour every night, then you're not getting your full 40 hours, but I don't care. I don't need the money that bad. But anyway, I just had to get on here and tell my piece. Peace, love, y'all be blessed, and thank the Lord you're alive. There's always a reason to talk of the Lord. Peace, love, y'all be blessed.